So this project is an international project involving collaborators from Norway, from US, and also from East Africa. So as part of this project, we are bringing all of our collaborators, which include scholars, or researchers, and also community members and community activists and leaders to come together to share their experiences around water security and climate change.
Just glad that we're able to sit here and share, and then I'm hoping people will get a lot out of the play that's going to be produced today. And
not the one's 50 kilometers from here.
I'm not as mad as I used to be about the water. That's nothing new. I'm mad because there's no dialogue between the government and the community. You build a treatment system, big whoop, but you don't speak a word to us.
The jam session is a kind of a new term that that Community Circle is exploring with. So instead of using what we often see as traditional models of a PowerPoint presentation or a strict panel discussion with microphones where you have experts and then you also have witnesses, we try to dethrone the expert with this.
H2O, Alex? All the way from Vancouver?
But in this case, it's more by creating things drama-based, which might be a short theater piece to provoke ideas.
Yeah, I've been a water operator with my community for the last 7 years.
We brought them to our community partners locations, which is around Fraser Canyon region in British Columbia, in particular Lytton First Nation, which has been facing the climate change in a very significant way. In the past few years, they've had multiple wildfires to the point that the village of Lytton was completely burned out. They had floods that devastated the community, and also they have had droughts in the summer. So they're facing significant challenges. But at the same time, community is trying to be resilient by adopting and bringing some new solutions. So we want to learn from our own community and have them share their experiences with our international collaborators, but at the same time bring expertise from outside Canada for them to share their experiences.
Well, I think it's very important that when a design team comes in to design a solution for whatever the local problem is, it's vitally important, it's essential to bring the community together and get the local knowledge base before you charge ahead with an engineered solution. Because whatever the engineering is needed, it has to fit with, be compatible with, and spring from local knowledge.
The local guy has been, his whole life, from birth, he has been learning by the nature, by his older family, everything, experience, and he sees it from another view.
A lot of technologies on the drinking water side, they need chemicals always input. They need new, adjusting the pH, or they need to adding some kind of coagulant, and there's always use-based chemicals that are needed. But if we can come up with technologies that don't need external inputs, then those become more sustainable because we're not relying on a supply chain of chemicals to come in to get the job done. So we're looking at UV-based technologies, oxidation-based technologies, separations-based technologies like membranes. And with these tools, we can really create water quality that's tailored to the specific use that we require. So if it's potable reuse, we can make potable water. If it's less than potable, we can also use water to flush the toilets where we don't need to have a drinking water quality specifically.
Yeah, it's weird.
I got 4 our town burnt, the water in Kamloops, burnt in Kelowna, wherever I was living.
A lot of my job focus is on water security and monitoring our environment. We need to understand exactly how much water we have available and do our best to predict what the future impacts and how our water security is going to look like in the future, to make sure that we manage that resource in a way that's sustainable.
It's also very interesting for me to come here where your rivers are 100 times bigger than our rivers, but you still have a lack of water, because we have small cities, small communities, and but we also have small rivers, but we are thinking that we will never be out of water.
We're moving into a future where we do not know what is going to happen. We know that there will be massive changes, but it is at such a level that, to paraphrase Ian Scoons, I think, we do not know what we do not know. That is where we are at. So sharing lived experiences from very, very different places allows us to maybe start asking questions to ourselves that we didn't think of before meeting these other people.
So a lot of the work that Community Circle and this organization is about giving and receiving in this way, but then there's this whole beautiful center that is about listening and having these conversations, so that there's going to be a web of intersections happening here. So it's not going to be just in a linear way. I think this group in particular, where it was a project where they were coming from really quite different geographical places, different ways of engaging with water and the environment, but yet they all found this kind of common ground, this place to kind of work together, to play together. They were willing to take risks. They were willing to, on day one, we were on the floor doing activities with our hands. They were willing to go beyond their comfort zone.
But taking some of the knowledge that the people bring from all over the world to these workshops it's very interesting to learn. And if I listen to a technique, I'll try and copy that technique at home if I can, and see if it'll work in my area. And it's the same with when I give knowledge as well. I hope that people from the other countries will sort of take my knowledge and see if it'll work over there. So it's a really good networking function for us to all talk together and talk about our challenges, talk about the things that we do at work, and maybe what works and what doesn't work, and we'll take something away that may help us improve our own departments or our own water systems in some way or another.
The way that I approach my work, I always push for collaboration from community to community. We encourage knowledge sharing, information sharing, whether that's environmental data or traditional knowledge.
We try to develop more smaller scale systems, more decentralized systems where communities take more control of their resources and their technologies. We have to have technologies that are more robust and less reliant on outside people coming in that have to tinker with things and fix things regularly. And we want to make sure these technologies are going to last for quite a long time before they need to be serviced. So that adds another level of complexity in those systems.
In operation, it still has bugs in it. Community Circle has taught me a lot, not just in the realm of employment and what I do, but it also has enabled me to grow as an individual, and to understand that while my Western mindset is very comfortable and familiar to me, and it served me well for much of my life, it's important to step back a little bit and take a more inclusive mindset, and to understand that people from different areas just think differently, and it's important to see everything and to look at all the angles before you run forward with a solution.
Okay, thank you everyone. You can now have a seat. All right.
I'm not as mad as I used to be about the water. That's nothing new. I'm mad because there's no dialogue between the government and the community. You build a treatment system, big whoop. You don't speak a word to us. You don't hear us. You refuse to hear what we really need.